You are invited to slow down and arrive in this present moment with gentle ease. Allow the breath to settle your nervous system while awareness softens around the edges. Notice the body as an intelligent container that holds frequency and attention. Feel the ambient silence like a receptive field waiting for purposeful thought. Let curiosity guide you rather than urgency or expectation in this first breath. As attention deepens, sense the opening of a luminous inner space ready to receive clarity. This practice will use gratitude and clearing to calibrate your frequency for accelerated manifestation. Bring a simple intention into clear focus, to amplify your gratitude and clear energy for rapid manifestation. Keep this intention light and specific, like pointing a beam of awareness. Allow words or images that resonate to surface organically without forcing them. Notice any resistance or doubt as information rather than judgment, gently acknowledged and released. Feel the intention settle like a seed into fertile inner ground, ready to be nourished. Hold the intention with curiosity and kindness, letting it become a gentle directive for the practice. This is the compass that guides each breath, clear, steady, and unhurried. Sense the energetic fields surrounding your body like a faint, luminous atmosphere that responds to focus. Notice subtle temperatures, pressures, or vibrations without needing to change them immediately. Allow attention to orbit the heart center, feeling the rhythm of appreciation and openness expanding outward. Imagine this field as a responsive membrane that harmonizes with your inner state. Each breath will ripple this membrane, creating waves that attract congruent realities. Trust the intelligence of this field as it begins to align with your chosen intention. This sensing primes your system for depth and subtlety during the ritual. Create a gentle boundary around your practice by softening the eyes and settling the posture. Imagine a protective, luminous shell forming a quiet sanctuary that is just for you. Allow external concerns to float to the edge of awareness like distant clouds, non-threatening and transient. Invite a sense of safety that permits vulnerability and expansive inner work. This sacred space is a field of permission for gratitude and clearing to occur without distraction. Treat this moment as a ritual threshold crossed with reverence and openness. From here, the first energies begin to shift toward clarity and alignment. Anchor the practice with 3 deep, intentional breaths that draw you fully into the present. With each inhale, feel nourishment traveling into your chest and belly. With each exhale, feel release moving outward. Use the rhythm of breath as a metronome for attention, gentle and steady. Visualize each exhale carrying away tension, dense energy, and limiting beliefs like smoke dissipating into light. Allow the inhalation to bring in subtle, luminous particles of gratitude and possibility. Let your breathing steady into an even, calm cadence as the body and field harmonize. This anchoring prepares the system to receive and amplify gratitude scripting. As breath settles and intention remains steady, feel the threshold of practice open like a door to inner expansion. Allow any anticipatory thoughts to soften into neutral witness energy. Notice how each small clarity increases receptivity and aligns subtle vibration. Sense gratitude beginning as a tiny ember within the chest that can be intentionally nurtured. Recognize that this opening is not dramatic but precise, a quality shift into coherent frequency. Carry this ease forward as the container for the gratitude scripting that follows. The field is now primed to receive and magnify what is called forth. Understand frequency as the tone of your inner state that magnetizes corresponding experiences into your life.
See it as a spectrum where emotions and thoughts tune your personal field like an instrument. Higher vibrational states such as gratitude, love, and clarity open channels for aligned possibilities. Lower frequencies signal contraction, resistance, and delayed manifestation. Recognize that frequency is not moral but informational. It tells the field what is being broadcast. You have the capacity to shift frequency deliberately through attention and practice. This foundation clarifies why gratitude is a powerful manifestation tool.
Imagine thoughts and emotions as waves that collapse into forms when attention and energy converge. Your inner observation acts as a quantum listener, influencing probability fields toward one outcome. Gratitude functions like a coherent wave that reduces interference and clarifies intention. When attention resonates with possibility, the field reorganizes along more probable pathways. This metaphor helps you see why clarity, feeling, and repetition accelerate manifestation. Use this understanding to cultivate intentional attention rather than scattered wishing. The more coherent the broadcast, the clearer the reception. From a psychological perspective, gratitude reorganizes neural patterns to favor noticing opportunities and resources. Practiced regularly, it rewires perception toward abundance rather than lack. This cognitive shift complements energetic alignment by training the mind to expect and detect aligned events. The combination of inner feeling and cognitive expectation creates a strong, attractive pattern. Recognize that practices change both subtle energy and nervous system habits simultaneously. This is why daily repetition is both pragmatic and mystical. Integration of mind and field makes manifestation efficient and sustainable. Visualize your energetic anatomy as concentric layers of sensitivity extending from the physical body into auric space. Each layer resonates with different aspects of identity, memory, and possibility. Gratitude activates heart-centered layers, promoting coherence between inner and outer systems. Clearing practices help dissolve dense attachments in outer layers, so signal strength increases. When layers align, communication between heart, mind, and field becomes seamless. This anatomical awareness deepens appreciation for why simultaneous clearing and gratitude are potent. Cultivate gentle curiosity about where blocks live and how they feel. Intentionality is the spark. Attention is the fuel that feeds its momentum toward manifestation. Without sustained attention, intention shifts become fleeting and unfocused. Gratitude scripting channels attention into detailed, emotionally textured narratives that the field can match. Habitually returning to high-quality attention builds resonance like tuning a radio to the clearest station. Discipline is compassionate here. It is the steady peening of a signal until it becomes unmistakable. Combine curiosity, specificity, and emotional clarity to cultivate unstoppable attention. This practice trains presence to be both consistent and potent. Prepare the inner instrument by releasing noise, clutter, and reactive patterns that dampen resonance. Use breath, touch, or brief clearing phrases to calm the sympathetic nervous system. Feel tension loosening like knots, undoing softly under warm light. Remember that clarity arises from spaciousness, not frantic pushing or force. As the instrument quiets, gratitude can be expressed more purely and powerfully. This preparation ensures the scripting that follows carries clarity, not desperation. The field now becomes receptive to clear, coherent signals of gratitude.
Begin clearing to create receptive space so gratitude can be felt without contamination by old patterns. Clearing helps remove energetic debris that masks the signal of your intention. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument before a symphony. Small adjustments yield resonant sound. Approach clearing with gentleness and curiosity rather than urgency or self-critique. When dense charge is released, gratitude lands with more clarity and emotional authenticity. This sets up the field for effective scripting and accelerated manifestation. Clearing is not punishment, it is preparation for possibility. Start with small, repeatable clearing techniques that can be practiced daily and quickly. Use slow exhalations, imagining smoke or shadow leaving the body with each breath. Visualize a soft white light sweeping from the crown down through the feet, carrying away heavy charge. Glide awareness along the energetic body and name any sensations without attaching to them. Use gentle tapping or shaking to dislodge physical tension and restore circulation. These micro-clears are portable and powerful when used consistently throughout the day. They maintain signal clarity between longer ritual sessions. Allow emotions to move through the body without forcing them to disappear prematurely. Position curiosity as a safe witness that holds whatever arises with compassion. Name the feeling internally and allow it to breathe. This act changes its intensity. Offer simple permission statements such as, "It is safe to feel this," to reduce resistance. Notice how as emotions are felt and released, space opens up for more inspired states. Gratitude then no longer needs to compete with unresolved charge. This process is gentle, wise, and ultimately freeing for manifestation. Perform an energetic sweep by envisioning a soft, luminous hand brushing away static from your energy field. Move slowly and deliberately from head to heart to belly, releasing layers of tension as the sweep passes. Imagine the discarded charge dissolving into nourishing light that returns to the earth to be transmuted. Feel the field becoming lighter, more transparent, and more responsive as the sweep completes. Repeat as needed until there is a palpable shift toward ease and openness. This practice gently recalibrates direction and density in your subtle anatomy.
Use precise, simple clearing language to support intention without dramatizing the content of what is released. Short phrases like, "Release that which no longer serves," or "Let this dissolve in light," create focused, energetic commands. Avoid overly elaborate stories during the clearing. Keep the language clean and functional. Speak inwardly or aloud with conviction, letting the sound anchor the intention. Then allow silence to complete the process, trusting the field to reorganize. These clearing phrases are tools that guide energy without attaching to narrative.
After clearing, restore coherence by breathing warmth into the heart center and feeling gratitude for the release itself. Visualize subtle filaments of golden light knitting the energetic layers back together in a higher ratio of harmony. Sense the heart pulse as a metronome that resynchronizes body, mind, and field. This reintegration prevents fragmentation and preserves the clarity gained through clearing. Allow a brief pause to notice the quality of the field now, lighter, quieter, and more receptive. This restored coherence magnifies the impact of gratitude scripting to follow.
Scripting is the practice of writing your desired reality as if it already exists, using present tense language that creates an embodied experience. This form of gratitude expression combines clarity of intention with vivid emotional texture. By scripting, attention anchors to specific detail and feeling, making the field more coherent. Avoid vague statements. Specificity sharpens frequency and reduces noise. Treat the script as both a map and a feeling, descriptive and somatic together. This method engages cognitive, emotional, and energetic systems simultaneously. Approach scripting as a sacred, directive art form rather than mere journaling.
Use language that invites sensation into the body. Mention tactile details, scents, sounds, and the subtle inner tone of gratitude. Describe how it feels to receive the desired outcome, not only the external circumstances. Words like relieved, held, delighted, stable create clear emotional color that the field can match. Include small, believable details that reinforce the plausibility of the script. Let sentences be short and vivid to prevent the mind from wandering into abstraction. This embodied language is the vehicle that carries the vibration into experience.
Structure the script with a beginning that acknowledges current appreciation, a middle that describes the desired reality, and an ending that feels gratitude for its unfolding. Start with small, true statements to build rapport with the nervous system before expanding into desired outcomes. Flow naturally from present appreciation into future-seeming detail while keeping the present tense voice. Conclude with a felt sense of completion or satisfaction to anchor the resonance. This structure creates a coherent narrative that the field recognizes and supports. Practice this structure until it becomes a comfortable ritual rhythm. Maintain an authentic tone that feels believable to your inner observer while still stretching possibility in a loving way. Avoid exaggeration or desperation. These tones introduce friction into the field. Speak from a place of quiet confidence and gratitude, as though the manifestation is a natural next step. If doubt arises, acknowledge it and gently return to statements that feel sustainable. Authenticity builds trust between conscious intention and subconscious habit. This trust speeds the alignment process and prevents self-sabotage from subtle disbelief.
Scripting benefits from consistent, daily repetition that reprograms expectation through frequency, not force. Short, focused sessions repeated with intention are often more potent than rare, lengthy sessions. Anchor scripting to daily rituals such as morning breath or evening wind down to create habit. Repetition is not mechanical. Vary sensory detail and gratitude. Adjectives to keep the practice alive. Trust that steady return to the script compounds effects over time as neural and energetic pathways strengthen. This disciplined softness transforms wishes into practiced intentions that the field learns to answer. Use a dedicated journal or digital note labeled with the date to hold the script and signal truth to the subconscious. Consider pairing scripting with subtle rituals like lighting a candle, playing a consistent music cue, or applying a tactile anchor. Keep scripts concise enough to be read aloud with feeling in 5 minutes or less, ensuring embodiment rather than over-intellectualizing. Occasionally revisit older scripts to notice threads of manifestation and to reinforce gratitude for the unfolding process. These practical tools help translate intention into reliable daily practice. Choose tools that feel sacred and sustainable for individual rhythm. Begin the scripting practice at a consistent time each morning to anchor the rhythm of manifestation into daily life. Create a short prelude of breathwork and clearing to prepare the field before writing. Choose a comfortable posture that supports alert presence without tension, whether seated or lying in bed. Keep the scripting space free from digital distraction for at least 5 minutes. Place a simple physical cue nearby that signals ceremony, such as a small crystal or a teacup. The morning sets the tone for the day. Use it to broadcast clarity and gratitude consciously. Open the script with 2 to 3 true statements of gratitude that stabilize the nervous system and build credibility. Statements might include appreciation for breath, shelter, relationships, or any present abundance. Keep these sentences grounded and specific to avoid bypassing emotion with platitudes. Allow the chest to soften as each sentence is read or written, feeling the inner tone of appreciation rise. These opening sentences create a secure beginning from which desired outcomes can be described. They invite alignment from the start and reduce resistance to bigger requests. Move into describing the desired reality as if it is unfolding now, using sensory cues and emotional labels that feel accessible. State specifics such as exact words, feelings, timing, or proximate changes that would signal a shift. Avoid rigid scripts that create stress. Instead, describe essence and outcome with ease. Let the language remain present, tense, to anchor feeling in the now. Notice which details spark the most bodily response and linger there for a moment. This practice turns imagination into a lived emotional rehearsal that the field can match. After describing the desired reality, spend 1 to 2 minutes feeling gratitude as if the outcome is already true, letting sensation fill the chest and radiate outward. Imagine energy moving from the center of your being into the external world, gently pulling circumstances into alignment. Keep attention on the body, observing the warmth and expansion without needing further proof. Let the gratitude be embodied, not just cognitive, so that the nervous system remembers what it means to receive. This embodied gratitude acts as a strong attractor for matching experiences. Remain patient and receptive as the feeling settles. Close the scripting session with a short anchor phrase or gesture that seals the energy, such as a hand to the heart and a whispered affirmation. Choose a phrase that is short, present tense, and emotionally congruent, like, "Thank you, this is true," or "I receive with ease." The gesture or phrase becomes a neuro-associative trigger that reconnects the field to the practice throughout the day. Breathe slowly 3 times to integrate and allow the nervous system to embody the new tone. Store the journal in a visible place to remind the mind that this practice is real and recurring. This gentle close preserves coherence and invites continual alignment. Throughout the day, use micro-scripting moments to re-anchor the vibration whenever attention drifts. Offer brief, present tense statements of gratitude for small developments, like a helpful message or a moment of ease. These mini-scripts keep the field coherent and prevent energy from scattering. Pair them with a breath or touch to the heart for instant recalibration. Micro-scripting multiplies the effectiveness of the morning practice by maintaining frequency consistency. These small returns to gratitude form the scaffolding of a manifesting lifestyle.
Use specific breath patterns to elevate nervous system tone and deepen resonance during scripting. Try a slow 4-6-8 pattern. Inhale 4 counts, hold 6 gently, exhale 8 with surrender. This rhythm encourages parasympathetic activation and opens the heart space for genuine gratitude. Synchronize the breath with visualization, so inhalation draws in possibility and exhalation radiates gratitude. Maintain smooth, relaxed breaths to avoid tension that undermines frequency. Practice the breath pattern for a few minutes before scripting to prime the field. Breath is a simple but powerful amplifier for any manifestation practice. Use vibrational anchors like humming, vocal toning, or soft chanting to activate resonance in the chest and throat centers. A low hum feels grounding. A gentle ah sound opens the heart resonance. Let the vibration be felt physically as much as heard, using the body as an amplifier. These sounds create coherent standing waves that stabilize intention within the energy field. Pair a tone with a simple phrase of gratitude to link sound and meaning. Over time, the body will begin to respond automatically to these anchors, increasing ease of access to high frequencies.
Incorporate small movement practices such as slow stretching, conscious walking, or somatic shaking to embody the frequency you intend to broadcast. Movement helps integrate energetic shifts into the physical body and releases stuck charge. Move slowly and with attention, noticing areas that soften or resist. Complement movement with gratitude statements directed at enlivened body parts and sensations. This embodied approach makes manifestation less abstract and more somatically anchored. Movement communicates to the field that alignment is lived, not only imagined. Use gentle motion to enliven the heart's frequency during scripting. Enrich the sensory environment to cue the nervous system toward elevated states. Warm light, pleasant aromas, soft textures, and harmonious sound. These sensory cues act as external anchors that support inner alignment and make gratitude more vivid. Choose stimuli that feel nourishing rather than overstimulating, maintaining simplicity and intention. Over time, these environmental choices create conditioned responses that ease access to high-frequency states. Remember that subtlety wins over intensity. A single candle, a soft scarf, or a favorite scent can be profoundly effective. External harmonics support internal resonance. Cultivate heart coherence by focusing attention on the heart area while breathing slowly and feeling gratitude. Heart coherence aligns cardiac and neural rhythms, producing a distinct electromagnetic signature that the field recognizes. Picture the heart emitting ripples of golden light that expand with each thankful breath. This coherent field creates a magnetic quality that attracts matching circumstances with less friction. Practice for a few minutes daily to strengthen the cardiac emotional feedback loop. The heart becomes a reliable amplifier for whatever is scripted and intended. After using breath, tone, movement, and environment, pause to integrate the elevated frequency into ordinary awareness. Allow the sensations to settle into the body without forcing continuation or chasing peaks. Notice subtle shifts in clarity, ease, or expectation as indicators of integration. When the elevated state becomes the resting baseline, manifestation unfolds with more grace and speed. Carry small reminders throughout the day to return to this integrated frequency as needed. This integration phase is where daily practice becomes durable transformation rather than ephemeral experience. Begin by noticing where resistance shows up in your body, thoughts, or habitual stories that undermine feeling worthy of receiving. Bring neutral curiosity rather than harsh judgment to these discoveries. Ask gentle questions inwardly. Where does doubt live, and how does it feel physically? Observe patterns of procrastination, fear, or resignation as helpful signals, not flaws. Awareness is the first step toward intelligent action to shift blocks. Naming resistance weakens its unconscious grip and opens the door to compassionate clearing. This mindful identification informs targeted release techniques. Limiting beliefs often masquerade as facts, but are simply learned patterns that can be revised through focused practice. Pinpoint one belief that feels most alive and trace its earliest echo without distress. Use counter-statements of gratitude that gently reframe truth and possibility rather than force new beliefs into existence. Simultaneously embody the new statement through breath, posture, and small behavioral experiments that prove possibility. Over time, neural pathways are rewired by repeated, embodied reframing. Approach belief work with patience and curiosity, allowing the field to adapt at its own pace. Use somatic techniques like grounding, breath holds, or gentle trembling to discharge charge stored in the body without intellectualizing it away. Notice where the body tightens in response to certain thoughts and invite it to expand through slow breath and movement. Place awareness on sensations rather than narratives to allow the organism to complete its expression. These somatic completions often dissolve energetic knots that thinking cannot access. After release, breathe warm gratitude into the formerly contracted area to recondition sensation. Somatic release reconnects intelligence between body and field. Practice refining energetic boundaries by imagining a translucent membrane that permits nourishing energy while filtering noise and other people's unresolved charge. Boundaries are not walls, but selective membranes, allowing life-enhancing interactions to pass. Strengthen boundaries by practicing gentle, energetic resets after encounters that leave residue. Visual tools like a soft white light or a slow exhale can clear peripheral charge quickly. Clear boundaries support sustained high-frequency practice by reducing energetic drain. Respectful boundary practice is an act of tenderness toward the self and your manifesting power.
Meet shadow aspects with gentle curiosity rather than avoidance, recognizing that neglected parts carry creative energy when integrated. Invite the shadow to be seen, heard, and thanked for its role in protection or creativity. Use compassionate internal dialogues to welcome previously disowned qualities and propose new uses for them aligned with your intentions. Integration reduces the charge these parts hold and converts their energy into resourceful capacity. Gratitude can be extended to the shadow specifically for the lessons it provided. This integration clears the path for more unified expression of desire. Transform resistance into creative momentum by reframing it as information about what needs repair or attention. Use small experiments to test slipping beliefs and see new evidence that expands possibility. Let setbacks be gentle feedback rather than catastrophic proof of inability. Each moment of resistance is an opportunity to practice recalibration, compassion, and strategic action. Allow gratitude to lubricate this process, giving the field something to attract rather than reject. Over time, resistance becomes a refined tool that points toward deeper healing and more efficient manifestation.
Design a daily routine that supports elevated frequency by connecting small, repeatable rituals that are meaningful and sustainable. Start with short practices that can be completed reliably rather than long rituals that become sporadic. Anchor rituals to existing habits, such as sipping water upon waking or brushing teeth, to build continuity. Choose a handful of practices like breathwork, journaling, microclearing, and gratitude scripting that together form a coherent system. Keep rituals flexible enough to adapt to life while maintaining essential structure. Ritual consistency builds trust between conscious intention and habitual nervous system response. Practice daily energy hygiene, with short clears after leaving busy spaces, after difficult conversations, and before important calls. Think of these resets as preventive maintenance that preserves frequency and reduces reactive drain. Use simple techniques such as 3 deep cleansing breaths, a soft exhale visualized as smoke leaving, or a hand sweep through the auric field. Establishing energy hygiene keeps the subtle body primed for consistent scripting and reception. Regular maintenance prevents backslide into patterns that dilute manifesting power. Make energy hygiene an unremarkable but essential part of daily life. Integrate rituals into daily life by using natural pauses such as transit time, waiting rooms, or morning coffee to reconnect with practice.
These small windows prevent the practice from feeling isolated or temple-like, and instead weave it into living. Choose micro-practices that restore intention with minimal friction, like a single breath, a quick gratitude sentence, or a soft hum. Integration makes spiritual practice pragmatic, sustainable, and less exceptional. Over time, these subtle returns compound into a pervasive baseline of alignment. Life and practice become a single, flowing field rather than separate compartments. Curate a social and environmental ecosystem that reflects and supports your ritual priorities, recognizing that surroundings influence frequency. Communicate boundaries to friends, family, and colleagues so practice time is honored and uninterrupted. Choose environments that reduce sensory chaos and invite focus when possible, or create portable rituals that work within busier spaces. Surroundings and alliances that reflect your values will accelerate alignment and make practice easier. Remember that gentle limits are an expression of self-respect and creative stewardship. Support structures amplify rather than replace personal discipline.
Keep a simple log of practice frequency, emotional tone during scripting sessions, and notable synchronicities to observe patterns over time. Use brief reflection prompts weekly to notice what shifts and what feels stuck, adjusting rituals accordingly. This data is not for critique, but for intelligent optimization of what works best for the individual rhythm. Celebrate small wins and document evidence of manifestation to strengthen belief circuits. Over months, tracking reveals emergent trends that help refine practice into an efficient, personalized system. Reflection keeps the practice living and responsive.
Aim for sustainable momentum rather than bursts of intensity followed by lapse, recognizing that steady frequency yields compounded results. Embrace an approach that favors regular 5 to 15-minute practices over inconsistent long sessions. Honor rest and replenishment as part of the ritual system. Overexertion undermines coherence. Celebrate consistency by allowing rituals to evolve with changing life seasons instead of rigidly enforcing them. Sustainable ritual is an offering to the future self that creates dependable energetic infrastructure for manifestation. Gentle persistence is the secret heartbeat of long-term transformation. Invite the senses fully into scripting by attaching tactile, olfactory, visual, and auditory details to each gratitude sentence. Imagine the sound of doors opening, the warmth of sunlight on skin, the scent of fresh coffee, and the texture of supportive hands. Sensory-rich scripts feel more real to the nervous system and therefore create stronger attractor patterns. When the body recognizes these sensory cues, it lowers resistance and opens more readily to receiving. Practice modifying favorite scripts by adding one sensory detail at a time to deepen embodiment. The senses are bridges between imagination and physical manifestation. Use a brief meditative visualization to inhabit the scene described in the script and note the precise sensations that arise. Close the eyes and explore the imagined space with a curious, tactile attention as if the scenario were happening now. Notice light quality, spatial relationships, and subtle emotional undertones that lend authenticity to the image. Hold the visualization lightly and return to breath when the mind wanders to avoid forcing perfection. This practice deepens the somatic coherence between imagination and felt reality. Visualization is rehearsal that prepares the organism for embodied reception. Use taste and smell as potent anchors by pairing certain scents or flavors with scripting sessions to create associative memory. Choose a scent that feels uplifting and unique, such as citrus blossom or sandalwood. and use it consistently when practicing gratitude scripting. A small sip of a favored herbal tea can become a ritualized taste cue that triggers alignment. Over time, the scent or flavor will reawaken the embodied frequency with minimal effort. These anchors provide immediate access to elevated states in busy moments. The brain learns to connect the anchor with the practiced emotional tone. Include simple touch practices such as placing a hand over the heart, grounding with bare feet on the earth, or holding a smooth stone to return attention to the present body. Touch provides immediate feedback that calms the nervous system and reinforces the sincerity of gratitude statements. Allow the warmth of the hand or the solidity of a stone to communicate safety to the nervous system. These tactile cues anchor the emotional tone and prevent dissociation during intense visualization. Grounding integrates energy into the physical vessel, making manifesting less theoretical and more embodied. Carefully select music, ambient sound, or personal toning that harmonizes with the intended state during longer scripting sessions. Auditory resonance helps sustain coherence when attention naturally wanders. Choose music cues that are gentle and unobtrusive, ones that enhance rather than dominate the inner experience. Use the same few tracks consistently to create a conditioned auditory shortcut into elevated frequency. Personal vocal toning can be even more effective as the body produces the exact resonance desired. Sound is a direct vehicle for shaping inner atmosphere and aligning the field.
Leverage senses as memory anchors by revisiting sensory cues when gratitude is needed outside of formal practice. Smell the chosen scent in stressful moments, hum the practiced tone in transit, or touch the anchor object when doubt surfaces. These small acts reconnect the body to the practiced frequency instantaneously and quietly. The more sensory memories are paired with elevated states, the easier it becomes to recall alignment under pressure. Senses are a direct pathway to embodied memory and rapid recalibration. Use sensory integration to make alignment habitual and resilient. Notice how shifts in inner frequency gradually translate into tangible shifts in outer circumstances as the field organizes around new probabilities. Small changes in expectation and feeling alter where attention lands and which opportunities get noticed. The field does not work instantly like a switch, but consistently like a magnet that reorients probability over time. Be patient with the pace while maintaining steady practice. Manifestation is often a series of subtle rearrangements. Observe how inner coherence invites aligned action and serendipitous assistance. This understanding keeps approach humble, patient, and focused.
Pay attention to synchronicities, small coincidences, timely messages, or intuitive nudges as signals the field is responding to your frequency. Note them without overinterpretation and gratitude them as feedback that alignment is underway. Synchronicities often arrive as small confirmations that lead to larger opportunities when nurtured. Use them as occasion to recalibrate and deepen trust in the practice, rather than as demands for immediate vindication. Recording synchronistic events strengthens belief circuitry and reinforces the practice's causal thread. Celebrate these subtle breadcrumbs with quiet appreciation. Manifestation combines energetic alignment with inspired action that feels natural and opportune rather than forced. When inner clarity meets outer opportunity, small decisive steps often present themselves with ease. Distinguish inspired action from anxious overwork by checking for a sense of openness and clarity in the body before proceeding. Take the next small practical step that feels both courageous and doable. Track results and iterate based on feedback rather than trying to force outcomes prematurely. Inspired action is the practical unfolding of inner coherence into outer movement. Cultivate ease as a priority, because ease preserves frequency and prevents depletion, commonly mistaken for effortful progress. If action feels frantic, recalibrate back to breath and heart coherence to find more aligned entry points. Allow breaks, rest, and playful curiosity to puncture tension and renew clarity. Ease is not laziness, but an intelligent economy of attention that keeps the field open and attractive. The more enjoyment in the process, the more sustainable success becomes. Expect joy and lightness as natural byproducts of aligned manifestation.
Approach manifestation with ethical clarity by aligning desires with values that uplift not only personal life but the wider network of relationships and environments. Consider the ripple effects of intended outcomes and choose goals that are expansive rather than extractive. Gratitude practices naturally orient toward reciprocity when cultivated with presence and integrity. Keep intentions transparent to oneself and grounded in service when possible, which harmonizes personal gain with collective well-being. Ethical alignment strengthens long-term resonance and avoids unintended energetic consequences. This conscientious stance deepens trust in the process. Regularly review results with curiosity and without harsh self-judgment, asking what is working and what could be tweaked to be more effective. Use simple metrics like felt ease, frequency baseline, and tangible synchronistic signs to evaluate progress. Recalibrate practices that feel hollow or obligatory and experiment with small shifts to restore vitality. Trust that refinement is part of mature practice and leads to increased precision in manifestation. Keep gratitude as the touchstone during review, honoring what has been received while inviting clearer expression. This iterative approach leads to consistent expansion over time.
Recognize that momentum accumulates through consistent, small practices that compound into larger energetic shifts over weeks and months. Each day of gratitude querying and clearing adds a small multiplier to the field's responsiveness. Resist the temptation to judge progress by immediate dramatic outcomes. Compound interest works quietly but powerfully. Be patient and persistent, leaning into routine rather than sporadic intensity bursts. Notice how confidence grows as evidence accumulates and practice becomes reflexive. Momentum is built not by force, but by reliable, aligned repetition. Celebrate micro-wins as milestones that reinforce belief systems and encourage continued practice with positive feedback. Give intentional gratitude for small adjustments, little synchronicities, and incremental clarity as if they were decisive successes. These celebrations program appreciation into the nervous system and strengthen neural pathways that detect abundance. Use brief rituals of recognition, a few words aloud, a journal note, or a mini movement sequence to mark progress. The habit of celebration multiplies the perceived reality of success and invites more of it. Gratitude for small wins is fertile soil for momentum.
Once consistent baseline practices are established, scale intentions incrementally rather than leaping into extremes that create resistance. Increase the scope of manifestation requests slowly while maintaining the same level of embodied clarity and coherence. Larger intentions require more sustained coherence across time and lifestyle. Scale is an exercise in steady expansion. Test new desires with small, believable sub-steps that verify capacity and open doors. Preserve the quality of practice even as ambitions grow to avoid fragmentation. Scaling with integrity ensures continued receptivity and reliable alignment.
Invite accountability through gentle commitments to partners, groups, or journals that reflect the aspiration to maintain practice. Surround the ritual with supportive relationships that encourage consistency without shaming lapses. Sharing intentions with trusted allies can provide both practical help and emotional buoyancy when doubt arises. Use community as a resource for ideas, motivation, and witness rather than as a place for comparison. Choose accountability structures that feel safe, empowering, and aligned with inner rhythm. Support speeds momentum by reducing isolation and normalizing sustained practice.
Allow rituals and scripting methods to adapt as needs change, refining practices through observation and experimentation. What worked in one life season may need subtle retuning in another. Approach adaptation with curiosity rather than disappointment. Adjust tools, time, or format based on feedback while preserving core principles like present tense gratitude and clearing. This adaptive mindset keeps practice fresh, relevant, and more likely to be sustained. Experiment with micro-adjustments and track effects to discover what reliably accelerates momentum. Flexibility prevents stagnation and fuels consistent growth. Cultivate trust by acknowledging incremental evidence and honoring the internal sense of reliability that emerges from regular practice. Trust is built through repeated alignment between intention, feeling, and results, not through blind faith. When trust grows, practices become easier and manifestation flows with less friction. Use gratitude to acknowledge both the internal shifts and external confirmation that validate the system. Trust turns consistency into a living conviction rather than a duty, making the path forward luminous and self-sustaining. This trust is the most reliable engine of momentum. As the ritual approaches its completion, prepare to send gratitude and intention outward with clarity and precision. Ensure the field is coherent, free of reactive charge, and anchored in heart-centered appreciation. Use a final clearing breath to smooth the field and center awareness in the chest. Revisit the main script briefly, feeling each sentence as if it were already true, and notice the quality of sensation that arises. This preparation sharpens the broadcast so it is heard clearly by the field. Intentional sending honors both desire and the intelligence that responds to it.
Visualize the scripted reality as a bright, warm frequency transmitted outward from your heart into the field and toward the desired conditions. Picture the transmission as a golden thread or beam that travels with purpose, meeting opportunities and allies along the way. Trust that the beam does not need constant attention to do its work. Once sent, it interacts with probability fields quietly and intelligently. Feel gratitude for the transmission itself, knowing sending is an active form of receiving. Allow the visualization to end naturally once a sense of completion is felt in the body. Sending is a ceremonial release that opens space for manifestation. Release attachment to timing, form, and exact outcomes with a compassionate inward statement, acknowledging trust in the field's wisdom. Practice letting go by breathing into the center of the body and exhaling the tiniest threads of neediness or control. Gratitude paradoxically strengthens receiving while simultaneously loosening grip on specifics. Allow the energetic broadcast to unfold without micromanagement while remaining open to inspired action. This non-clinging stance invites more creative and often more fitting manifestations than rigid scripts might produce. Release is a generous act that honors both desire and process. Adopt a receiving stance by tuning to openness, curiosity, and readiness rather than desperation or passivity. prepare to notice subtle confirmations and to act when clear invitations appear that feel aligned and easeful. Keep the body relaxed, posture soft, and attention expansive to make room for arrival. Receiving can be practiced as a skill. Acknowledge what comes with gratitude and appropriate discernment. Avoid immediate disbelief when something aligns. Instead, offer gentle appreciation and practical follow-through. A prepared receiving posture harmonizes with the sending phase to complete the circuit.
Close the practice with wide gratitude for the unseen forces, the body's intelligence, and the emerging manifestations already in motion. Speak brief, heartfelt sentences of thanks that feel honest and proportionate to the experience. Allow gratitude to wash through the entire field, sealing the practice in warmth rather than stone-cold ritual formality. Breathe and lean into the feeling of being already supported and attended to by the larger field. This final gratitude amplifies reception and leaves the organism humming at a higher base frequency. Let this closing be gentle, celebratory, and authentic. After sending, move into routine life with soft vigilance, noticing synchronistic signs and shifting with easy responsiveness when opportunities appear. Continue micro-clearing and micro-scripting to keep the frequency stable as real-world conditions adjust. Document small confirmations and acts of alignment as a method of feedback and trust-building. Allow gratitude to be a running thread throughout the day, not a singular ritualistic moment. Integration is where spiritual practice meets lived life and where subtle shifts become sustained reality. Walk forward with curiosity, patience, and the confidence of a practiced sender.